My three personal heroes, obviously, along with Ayrton Senna and David Bowie, the inimitable Herve Poncharal. No. Welcome, Herve. Thank you very much for joining us this Thursday on the podcast. We're going to start with an obvious question. We'll get on to that first. First one, how are you? It's very hot this weekend. Paddock's back in Europe. Some good results last time out. Some points for both riders. Augusto in the top 10. How is it going as we arrive into Herve for you and Gas Tectois?
First, I'd like to say, Fran, that you put a lot of pressure to me comparing to the
I knew as soon as I saw your face then you were going to say something.
The two incredible big names you told me, and I'm nothing compared to them. But, I like to be compared to these guys because they are legends and they are the one who have been inspiring
Bringing
me.
the rock and roll back to MotoGP.
They are completely rock and roll, and I just saw a movie about David Bowie a few days ago that touched me very deeply.
For everyone, that's how this came up before we went live.
Anyway, I am good. Honestly, a World Championship has got to have races outside Europe, and I enjoyed Argentina, I enjoyed Texas, USA, but to be in Europe is different. This is our paddock. We got our vehicles, we got our way of life. And one of the reasons I love MotoGP is also because the MotoGP paddock is an incredible place, to live, to share, things with a lot of incredible people. And from early morning to late in the evening, you can do so many things, meet so many people that this is something that you will never have at an outside Europe event. So I'm very happy to be back in Europe. And Jerez is a very special place to start the European season.
It's a true classic. Obviously, we have another true classic next time out. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this is a really special place, and it's always a thrill to come here. And it's even cooler this year when we've had Portimao, obviously incredible season opener, then two really different races, and then now we're back in Europe and in Jerez. But so second question, other than how are you then? How is Paul? We must ask about him, obviously, after that crash. How's he doing?
This is a good moment to ask me that question because since we're back from Costa, Texas, we have had a lot of news from Paul. He broke his jaw and he had the mouth blocked. Last week, they deblocked it. I don't know if you said that in English, but anyway, he can open his mouth now. He can eat properly.
Okay, because it was, I can't remember the word either.
Yeah, but anyway, the mouth was blocked and he could only eat with a straw or liquid food. So you can imagine that has been like that for a month. And now this is off. He can open his mouth, he can talk, he can eat all what he wants. And
difficult challenge for a vegan as well, only by straw.
Yes, absolutely. And he told me that was the most difficult thing I had to cope with. For sure, he has been through some tough times, but he told me that this is by far the toughest thing that he has to go through since he's born. But he's we all love Paul. And we love Paul because he's full of life. He's always positive. And he's somebody you always want to cuddle, because he's, he's never negative. Or a few seconds. And every time he's calling me, sending me videos, sending me pictures, it's to show me the progress he's made. It's like your kid who wants to impress his parents. And all he wants to do is come back as soon as he can. For sure, his plans are too early. But the good news is he's fully motivated, fully concentrated on his return. It won't be Le Mans, this is for sure. Now the next target, of course, after Le Mans is Mugello. There are a few weeks in between Le Mans and Mugello. So we don't know yet. We have to wait for the doctor's, position. But the next target is Mugello, but you can believe me that he's happy, incredibly willing to come back, and pushing like not a lot of riders would push. So
I think you said what I was going to say. We all love Paul. We genuinely do. Like even just, I feel like the moment that encapsulates all of Paul was when he was in the test in Valencia and just celebrating on the bike, almost just having a little 10-second party.
I am like you, I have a heart beating fast, even though it's getting old, but it's still beating fast. And when I saw him dancing on the bike, the body language was talking. And you never know because he was coming from a super top team. And when he's coming back to our project, we didn't know how we like it. And I thought to myself, we've won. He's going to be there. And this is why it's so frustrating because all through the winter, You know, he came to visit us at our headquarters in France. We had some great times. We shared so much values, and he was so much involved in the gas project. He was always telling me, I'm going to be the captain. And, you know, I would say SHIT happened. And, you know, the incredible disaster happened in Portimao, but we hope it's going to be soon forgotten and he's going to be back as the gas captain.
Well, we're very, very happy to hear then that there's some good progress, and also then targeting Mugello maybe. Hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed and send him lots of love. If by any chance he is watching or listening to this, lots of love sending to you, Paul.
I'm sure he's watching us. I'm sure he's watching us.
Well, of course he'll watch you, won't he? You know.
And you.
But no, yeah. So, well, that's great news then. Thank you for sharing that. So, talking about then, obviously, Paul, coming back to this project, and this project is a new one for you and the team. Certainly with the Gas brand debuting this year in MotoGP. It's pretty exciting. Obviously, you still with the RC16, leave out the KTM or Gas denomination so everyone can be happy. But it's an exciting time because there's a real new identity to the team. It's its own project with its own kind of goals, brand, purpose and everything else. Is it kind of a good atmosphere within the team at the moment and a new chapter?
Oh, yes, for sure. You know, last year when we spoke with the two top bosses of the Pirra Mobility Group, Stefan Pirra and Hubert Trunkenpolz, together with Pete Byrer, who is Motorsport Director. They first gave me that idea to be branded Gas. That was in Mugello last year. And in the beginning, I thought, what does it mean? And then the more I thought, and that was quite quickly, I thought that's going to be great. Because at the end of the day, if you wear the same colors and the same brand and the factory team, you will always be the B team, the satellite operation. And there is always a gap. Even though technically we are absolutely identical to the orange team, let's call it like that,
to Red Bull KTM factory racing.
Absolutely, which is one of the brands of the Pirra Mobility Group. The three main brands, as you know, is KTM, Husqvarna, and Gas. But we're very excited to be Gas because first, you know, Paul is a real Gas guy, as well as Augusto. We are from the south of Europe. We feel Latin, and this brand is all about, you know, passion, Latin, hot. Just the name Gas, get on the gas, you know. So for us, we have a factory KTM team, and we have a factory Gas team. Same equipment, same level, same development, and for sure we have our own communication. We have our own way to communicate. And this is very exciting. We have our brand new hospitalities.
I was going to ask about that as well. It's making its debut.
Red and white. And this is good to have our own identity, but still to be part of that incredible group, which is the Pirra Mobility MotoGP group, is something super exciting. And I have to say now that with Jack and Brad and Paul, that will come back soon, and Augusto, the atmosphere is unbelievable, you know. And I've been here for quite a while, as you mentioned before. And I'm still
I don't think I said it quite like that.
I'm still loving it, obviously. But what I love also is, of course, the sport, the battle, the show on track. But also is what you're sharing with the people. They are all much younger than me. But I like to see that, I would call it my family, more than my team, is happy, is working well together. And it's also your responsibility to pick up the right persons for each of the job you have to do. And when you feel that you have managed to hire the right people and the group is working as one, doesn't matter if they're from France, from Italy, from England, from Germany, Japan even we have, when you have that group working well together, laughing in the evening, you know, when we have our team dinner, this is a fantastic feeling. And this is what I still love.
I was going to say, this is one of the things about MotoGP, right? It's genuinely still got that. Well, we always talk about bringing that little rock and roll back, which is something you definitely want to do. I think you manage that with how you are most of the time. But the sport in general then, we'll come back to Augusto. But following that, the sport in general then, how does it feel now? It's an exciting era for the sport. We should say that you're obviously Tectoir team owner, founder, heartbeat, but also the president of IRTA, so you're also involved with like kind of that side of the paddock. How is it from your position seeing the new TISA Sprint introduced and with the calendar as it is? What are your kind of feelings and views on that?
You know, I've been here for almost 40 years and I've seen the paddock evaluating, but the paddock is following the real life. You know, in late 70s, 80s, the world was not living like it is living now. And of course, MotoGP is following the trends. But I would say that, to use the rock and roll expression that I love, MotoGP is still really rock and roll. And the new edition, the new format, with the inclusion of the sprint is full rock and roll. And so far in 2023, the rock and roll master is Brad Binder. Because you start the sprint P15 and you win the sprint after an incredible battle. This is rock and roll, and this is beautiful, and this is making your hair, you know...
yeah, it did me. It's one of those that gets you like, what am I watching?
So, this is... Okay, I am not objective because I'm a MotoGP player, but this is why MotoGP is the best show on earth.
Well, there you go. You've got so many sound bites in that. We could do like 7 days worth of articles.
and also I would like to say, you know, everybody is talking about, okay, one manufacturer, one brand is dominating and it's impossible to win. And another brand who was supposed to be the dominant brand in the past and is now the last, won the last race. So this is also rock and roll because you never can predict. You never know who is going to be winning that race.
It's true so far.
You know,
sure.
When we left Argentina, if somebody would have told you Alex Rins on a satellite Honda is going to do P2 in the sprint and P1 in the main race, not a lot of people would have bet on that. And this is again
bet on it is a different one. I was going to say I could have believed it. Betting on it is a different.
No, but this is what we like. You know, we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't like when it's already planned, already. You know, the result is done before the race is happening. This is not happening here.
It's not, for sure. So, okay, let's go back to Augusto then. We talked about Paul. Obviously, everyone knows and loves Paul already, who's a fan of the sport. Augusto, our sole rookie this year. He's got the great hair, great look. He's get on the gas, ready to rock and roll himself. But he's doing pretty well so far, isn't he? He seems to have adapted. He has a bigger challenge because he's the only rookie. So I think personally anyway, I think I would find that more difficult to know kind of where I was. But he seems to be going pretty well so far. He's had that top 10, not crashing, making progress.
Yes, you know, this is what I told him in Argentina. I said, you know, during the winter, Paul was our captain and you were our rookie, following Paul, learning from Paul. But life has made it and you are now our captain. And you are not prepared, I'm sorry for that. And he said, Herve, I love to be the captain. I am here not to be only the rookie. I'm here to be a rider who is going to push and to get results. And what I like, you know, you need to have ambition. You need to set high-level targets. But you can do it still being humble. Even though deep inside yourself, you believe in yourself and you believe you can do it. Otherwise, you're not a top sportman. And Augusto's got that desire and that belief in himself that could take him very high, but also he's doing it in a humble way, in a very polite way. He respects everyone. And this is no secret that the past 2 years hasn't been easy for us. You know, in 2020, we won the last race in a dominant fashion, and everybody thought, wow, 2021, you're going to be winning the championship, or at least fighting. And it was difficult, and 22 even more. And to have that kind of atmosphere, with people being happy all together, with Augusto facing the responsibility of being the captain because the captain is on holiday for a while, I would say. And that happening in such a good atmosphere makes me very happy, makes me very proud. And I'd like to thank Augusto, honestly, because also, you know, sometimes if you don't create too many polemics, sometimes you are not so highly rated, if you see what I mean. And I am now not laughing but smiling because I've heard a lot of people who know a lot, sometimes everything, who told me there was no way. And we are doing our small mission, step by step, with concentrating on ourselves. And we don't do unbelievable, but we do quite well. And what I always tell my riders, Daniel Gado, Filippo Farioli. Paul doesn't need because he knows. But also Jonas, who is replacing Paul, and Augusto, is concentrate on yourself, work with your team, work with your group. Don't listen to what the people are talking. Don't read too much, except what Fran is saying.
Thank you, I'm honoured. Well, yeah, I can see how, I mean, generally in this paddock, in this sport, in any sport where you're quite high profile, I think I would find that really difficult to kind of filter out the noise and focus on what you're doing. But Jonas then, you've brought him up. That's kind of a surprise addition to the team. Got some points in the end last time out. Obviously, quite a long time since he's been certainly in competition in MotoGP. But I think it seemed like it was a good result to get a finish. He got a couple of points for it. And yeah, how is it having him back in the team? Obviously, his moment of glory where he almost defeated Mark, that was with you guys as well, with a different machine a few years ago. How is it having him back? Is it good?
Yeah, we always remember that incredible race in Saxony in 2017.
I think everyone will remember that.
And I can tell you that Johan Zarco this year did incredibly well, but so was Jonas Folger also. And it was a big shock that he couldn't finish the season because from Japan he couldn't come racing anymore because he had some issue with coping with the pressure and things like that, which I completely understood. But I always said to myself, what a waste, because such a talent, and I know he's got that talent. And finally, you know, you have to listen to the people and you have to want for the people you like, them to be happy. And so far he was happy. He's been really happy to sign for Pirelli Mobility as a test rider. And he was happy with that. And it was, I can tell you, quite difficult to convince him to go back racing because he didn't want to have that pressure anymore. He said, I'm not a racer anymore. I'm a test rider and I really like it. Then I had to convince him, together with Pete and some other guys, you know, that we will not put any pressure on him, that he's just going to come with us to understand the bike better and, in fact, become a better test rider.
That's the way you're selling it.
Exactly. But once you put the finger in it, you know, at the end of FP1, he was cross with himself because he was too far and he was upset. So then you could see that he was already not a test rider anymore.
Actually still got a bit of competition, yeah.
And then he progressed every session, but we told him, Jonas, step by step. Nobody's expecting anything, and I think this was the right move, not to have him, you know, too much under pressure, which he doesn't like. And then when we told him, are you ready to do the next one, which is Herve? He said, yeah, I had so much fun. We got a couple of points. That was also very lucky, let's say. But that was very important for him, to finish the race, to be lucky, to do your fastest lap at the very last lap of his race. This is showing that he has something in reserve inside himself, physically and as riding. And we will see. Nobody is going to expect him to be fighting for top position. But this is a good adventure. And, you know, and as I said before, in life, you need to be happy. And you need to have the people around you enjoying themselves. So our mission is to have Jonas with us, give him the possibility to have fun and become a better test rider in order to develop the bike for us and give us a better bike. So it's a win-win situation, all of us. And I can see him full of smile, you know, and we thought he was going to be scared to talk to the media, but now he's almost asking the media to come to see him. So no, all good, all good, all good.
Let him come back in slowly, and then actually it's like, actually, this is quite good.
This is what he's feeling at the moment.
It's good to see then, definitely, because I think not everyone was surprised in a negative way, but it was a bit of a, oh, okay, kind of when he was signed as a test rider. Obviously, I think everyone shared that thinking it was a bit of a shame that we didn't see more of him a few years ago, so it was a great opportunity. It must be really useful as well for bike development.
Yes.
With at least someone is on that bike getting data and has data to compare it to as well. And then obviously you've got Dani Pedrosa, MotoGP legend, out wildcarding for Red Bull KTM this weekend. Jack with his input coming from Ducati, Brad now with his experience. It's quite an arsenal of people and riders who are involved now in the project. It must fill you with a lot of hope for what's coming in the next few months and years.
Oh yes, but I mean that weekend for the Pirelli Mobility Group is going to be very exciting because we know Dani is very fast still.
He was fast here in the test.
And he's going to be fast here in Jerez. We've seen Brad and Jack very fast in Austin, but unlucky. But they're definitely going to be fighting in front. Augusto is making progress. Jonas is, as I said before, improving. So it's going to be an interesting weekend for us. Nobody knows where we are going to be. The heat is going to play a big factor. But we'll see. But we are happy, we're excited. Orange and red.
Orange and red, exactly. So then, like I said before, we have to talk about it. Next Grand Prix, Le Mans. Home race, obviously for Tech Trois, not quite for Gas Gas. Home race for you. And it will be the 1000th Grand Prix. Quite a big race. It'll be a real kind of honour for Le Mans to host that as well. How do you feel about that, and how does it feel, not just being French, but also IRTA president, like we said, France was voted best Grand Prix last year. We had more than 100,000 people on race day. It's going to be quite a party, I would imagine.
I think the French Grand Prix is always quite a party.
It is. Sometimes a scary party.
Yes.
There's so many people.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But we're talking about rock and roll. This can happen in a rock and roll concert
True
also.
rock and roll.
But no. I think the past 5-6 years, the French Grand Prix has been unbelievable. And for us as Tech 3, it is not as emotional as it used to be when we had Johan Zarco on pole position or Olivier Jacques fighting for the world title. But still, it is something special. When you go to your home country, your home Grand Prix, you see so many faces that you see only once a year. You see friends that you haven't seen for many, many years. And also, although I want to keep my humble attitude and I'm nobody special, but when you go there and you see all the French MotoGP fans calling you, asking you things, you feel privileged and you feel like a bit the messenger, because some of them don't speak any other thing than French. And I always like to stop in the crowd and talk to them, share with them. And this is, and I think Claude Michy, which is the organizer, and his team, they're doing a great job. The fan zone, when you go on stage in front of all these people, you also feel like a rock star.
It's genuinely incredible, isn't
it? And this is a super good feeling. Last year, I think the crowd was mad, was a bit disappointed because both Fabio and Johan didn't shine as they could have done. So now, same player could shoot again, and let's hope the result will be a bit different. They will have pressure, but I think Johan and Fabio now, they can't cope with the pressure, and the pressure is more a friend than an enemy at the moment for them.
Yeah, that seems like it makes sense. I think as well because so far it's been a little bit of an up and down season for both. I guess it's not like they've won every race or sprint so far.
But it's been an up and down season for almost
everybody, like you said.
Because we thought Pecco was going to be, dominating with a few riders out, his main rival. And in fact, when you see the point table, everything is still wide open.
It is wide open. And even somewhere maybe you're expecting a little bit more from them so far, still right there in the championship fight. What have we learnt from the first few races then, really, this year?
That MotoGP regulation is working really well because we saw KTM winning a race, we saw Ducati, of course, winning races, we saw Honda winning races, we saw Yamaha on the podium. So, I mean, the manufacturers involved, and we saw Aprilia very fast. Sorry, I was about to forget our friends from Aprilia. So the 5 manufacturers are really close to each other. An independent team rider can win races, Alex. An independent team rider can lead the championship, Marco. And this is something that is showing the level of support the factories are giving to their satellite operation, which is not really satellite operation anymore, even though this is handled by a private company, but technically everybody is full factory. And there is no hot favorite at the moment. It's just a pity that Marc is not here because it would have been But I think this is what we learn, with the one tire Michelin, with the regulation we have, with the manufacturer involved for now quite a while, and having frozen most of the technical regulation with not so much possibility to improve until the end of 26. I think we have now a great show, which is showing, incredible battle and uncertainty, absolutely uncertainty. Which is all what we want,
It is.
Who's going to be winning on Sunday?
I don't know. Would you like to predict?
I'm asking you.
I'm not going to predict. I can't.
You see, so it's difficult to predict, which is making the show exciting. I hope it's going to be a V4 on a tubular steel chassis. made in Austria.
biased,
But
of
I don't know
course.
exactly what I'm talking about. But this is what I would like to see on the top
We'll
step.
see. Certainly want a little bit more better look again for certainly Brad and Jack after that. Kota had some speed.
These two riders,
course, for
these
you
two
guys
guys are unbelievable. They are super personality. They are incredible fighter. Jack now joining the team has brought some sparkles, some laugh, and also a lot of very valuable technical input. And I think the duo with Brad is working incredibly well. They are so kind also to us and to Augusto. Every time they can, they help. So we have 3 incredible top riders, but also top gentlemen.
Well, that's quite a good review then.
Yes.
So the only other thing then there is, next year, it's been revealed, we'll be returning to Qatar for the first round, starting a little bit earlier as well. Have you got any thoughts on that whatsoever? What are you expecting from next season? Pre-season tests, we've got 2 more again, Sepang and Qatar. It's not that big a
Okay,
headline maybe
we've
for
done
you,
only
but
3 races, and you're a typical girl, Fran. You always want to know
can't
what's
blame
next.
me. I've pressed go at the pre-arranged time.
I'm not blaming you, but I think we're all happy to start by Qatar. This is a good place to restart. I think next year, for what I have heard and what I have seen, we will be on an incredible circuit. It's going to be
The facilities and all the work that they've done.
It's going to be the paddock is going to be the paddock is going to be crazy. The thing is, this year, 2022, we have to admit that the calendar is not easy.
2023.
23, sorry. 23. The calendar is not easy, and all that was partly due to the fact that we couldn't start by Qatar. Then we had to start later, and then it didn't help everything to come together in a more in an easier way. So next year we'll start a lot earlier in Qatar, and we will be able to have a better balanced calendar, if I can say so, because for sure the last 2 months of the championship are going to be crazy. Let's face the reality. So we should have an easier calendar next year. Hopefully we will go to India in 23, which is going to be the new thing, which is something that everybody is exciting about, because this is the biggest motorcycle market in the world. But apparently there are also
You're stealing all my sound bites.
Sorry?
You're stealing all my sound bites. When
Yes.
you're saying it's the biggest motorcycle market in the world, what can I add? It's like, yes, go ahead. All of the facts and stats.
But no, I don't have any special fact and stat. This is a bit boring, but India, since a few weeks, is now the #1 populated country in the world. They passed China, and of course, the population is very young, and a lot of them ride 2 wheels. Some to commute, some for their passion, and I think there is an incredible interest from the people from India
For sure.
to have a MotoGP
Exciting.
race. So I think if we finally go there, which I think is quite safe now, it's going to be something big.
Well, I'm certainly excited. And I think
It's
I'm
very
the...
spicy there. Huh? Be careful.
There you go.
Be
There you
careful.
go. We always use the chili emoji for add a little bit more spice to that title. So with India, for sure, the challenge is really cut out for us. Well, I think we will let you go now. Thank you very much for joining us. Unless
you,
there's
Fran.
anything else that you want to talk about.
No, I would like to say
Free forum.
I would like to say it was a pleasure to chat with you. You're somebody I have a lot of respect for, and let's.
Now I'm going to blush.
Yeah, flush. But what I would like to say to finish is, the world is not an easy place at the moment. We are gifted, us, the MotoGP community. We have an incredible life, and sometimes we should open the doors, open the windows to look at the real world, to understand how lucky we are to be here, and we should try to enjoy every single second of this life, which is an incredible, beautiful life. So let's enjoy, let's have fun, and let's manger la pomme.
Manger la pomme. I was hoping it was going to end on get on the gas, but manger la pomme will
and
work
for
fine.
sure, we're ready to race. Now get on the gas.
Exactly, perfect. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Herve. And yeah, thank you to everyone for joining us, whether it's live today on Thursday at Herve or in audio format just after. And yeah, let us know what you thought. And thank you very much, Herve. Have a good weekend and best of luck. We'll pass back to Jack and Simon.
Merci, Fran.
Merci.